Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you have to make a choice, stay where you are or push yourself to reach the next level. Life will test you. It will challenge you. And it will often make you question if you have the strength to keep going. But here's the truth: strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle. It comes from pushing past the point where most people stop. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you feel like giving up, that's the moment when growth begins. That's the moment when you find out what you're truly made of. You don't get stronger by avoiding challenges. You get stronger by facing them head on, by embracing the grind, and by refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. Growth comes from struggle. It's a truth that resonates deeply, but often feels uncomfortable to accept. Most people want to avoid pain, sidestep challenges, and stay in their comfort zone, but the reality is that nothing great ever comes without effort. Struggle is not the enemy. It is the very foundation on which strength is built. Without resistance, there can be no growth. Without hardship, there can be no transformation. Think of it this way: when you want to build muscle, you have to push your body to its limits. You have to lift weights heavier than what you're used to. It burns, it hurts, and it's exhausting, but that pain is proof that you're breaking down old limitations and building something stronger. Life operates the same way. Every struggle you face is an opportunity to grow, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The problem is that most people fear struggle. They see it as a sign that they're failing, that they're not good enough, or that they're on the wrong path. But struggle isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself, and that you're moving forward. Those who avoid struggle stay stagnant. They settle for mediocrity because they're unwilling to endure the discomfort that growth demands. Struggle forces you to confront your limitations, and in doing so, it teaches you what you're truly capable of. When life knocks you down, it gives you the chance to stand back up stronger, more resilient, and more determined. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you expand your capacity to handle whatever challenges come your way in the future. The person who learns to embrace struggle doesn't just survive, they thrive. They discover a depth of strength and perseverance that most people never tap into. Growth through struggle also changes the way you view yourself. When you push through hard times and come out the other side, you gain confidence in your ability to handle anything. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as a fighter, a conqueror, someone who refuses to back down. This shift in mindset is transformative. It empowers you to take risks, pursue bigger goals, and dream without limits because you know you can handle whatever comes your way. Struggle reveals your priorities. When things are easy, it's simple to drift through life without much thought. But when you're faced with challenges, you're forced to focus on what truly matters. Struggle strips away distractions and makes you confront the core of who you are and what you want. It helps you clarify your goals, your values, and your purpose. In this way, struggle doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you more focused, more intentional, more aligned with your true self. One of the greatest lessons struggle teaches is resilience. Life will throw curveballs at you, unexpected challenges, failures, and heartbreaks. But resilience is what allows you to keep going no matter what. It's the ability to bounce back, to adapt, and to find a way forward even when the odds are stacked against you. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you develop through experience. And experience only comes when you're willing to face struggles head on. Consider the stories of those who have achieved greatness. Rarely, if ever, do you hear of someone who reached the top without facing significant challenges along the way. Athletes train through pain and exhaustion. Entrepreneurs risk failure and endure countless setbacks. Artists face rejection and self-doubt. Yet, through all of this, they persist. Why? Because they understand that struggle is part of the process. It's not something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace. When you view struggle as an opportunity rather than an obstacle, everything changes. Instead of feeling defeated, you feel empowered. Instead of giving up, you dig deeper. You begin to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Each struggle becomes a chance to learn, to grow, and to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you ever imagined. Of course, this doesn't mean struggle is easy. It's not. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and sometimes it feels overwhelming. But it's in those moments of discomfort that transformation happens. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly without breaking free from its cocoon. The seed doesn't grow into a tree without pushing through the dirt. And you won't become the best version of yourself without enduring the struggles that life places in your path. So when you're faced with challenges, remember that they're not there to break you, they're there to build you. Embrace the struggle because it's shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Growth is never easy, but it's always worth it. And the strength you gain through struggle will serve you for the rest of your life. Failure is often viewed as the end of the road, a sign that something has gone terribly wrong. For many, it carries a stigma of inadequacy, a mark of shame that makes them hesitant to try again. But in reality, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of the journey toward it. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of triumph has been built on a foundation of failures. Failure is not the end, it's a beginning. It's the moment when learning starts, when growth accelerates, and when strength is forged. To truly understand the value of failure, you have to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing it as a setback, you must see it as feedback. Failure is life's way of teaching you what works and what doesn't. It's a lesson, a guide, a compass pointing you in the direction of improvement. When you fail, it's not because you're incapable, it's because you're learning. Each misstep, each mistake, each disappointment is a piece of the puzzle, helping you refine your approach and get closer to your goal. Failure also forces you to confront your weaknesses, and this is where its power lies. It exposes the areas where you need to improve, the gaps in your knowledge, and the habits that are holding you back. Without failure, you'd never have the chance to see these things clearly. Success might make you feel good, but failure makes you better. It pushes you to analyze, to adapt, and to grow in ways you never would if everything came easily. The most successful people in the world understand this. They don't fear failure, they embrace it. They know that every failure brings them one step closer to success. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His invention of the light bulb wasn't a result of avoiding failure. It was a result of persisting through it. Each time he failed, he learned something new, something that ultimately led him to success. Failure is also a test of character. It reveals who you are and what you're made of. It's easy to stay motivated and confident when everything is going well, but who are you when things fall apart? Or do you give up? Or do you get back up? Do you let failure define you, or do you use it to fuel your determination? The way you respond to failure says more about you than the failure itself. It's not the failure that matters, it's how you choose to move forward. In many ways, failure is a gift. It builds resilience, teaching you how to persevere in the face of adversity. Life will always have its challenges, and failure prepares you for them. It strengthens your ability to adapt, to recover, and to keep going no matter how difficult the circumstances. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you earn through experience. And there's no better teacher than failure. Failure also humbles you. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers, that there's always more to learn, and that you're not invincible. This humility is essential for growth. It keeps you open to new ideas, willing to ask for help, and ready to learn from others. It's a reminder that success is not about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them and continuing to move forward. One of the most profound lessons failure teaches is that it's temporary. No failure lasts forever unless you allow it to. It's a moment, a chapter in your story, not the whole book. When you fail, it might feel like the end of the world, but it's not. It's simply a part of the process, a step on the path to something greater. The only way failure can stop you is if you let it. As long as you're willing to try again, to keep pushing and to keep learning, failure can't defeat you. Failure also inspires creativity. When one door closes, it forces you to look for another way forward. It challenges you to think outside the box, to innovate, and to find solutions you might never have considered otherwise. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history have come from failures that spark new ideas and new approaches. Failure doesn't just teach you what doesn't work, it often leads you to discover what does. Failure is a necessary part of growth and success. It's not something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace. It shapes you, strengthens you, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. Each failure is a stepping stone and a lesson and an opportunity to become better, smarter, and more capable. It's a reminder that success is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. And with every failure, you're one step closer to the person you're meant to become. Staying focused and consistent is the foundation of achieving any meaningful goal in life. It sounds simple, but in practice, it's one of the hardest things to master. Distractions are everywhere, pulling your attention in 1,000 directions. There's always something more entertaining, more urgent, or seemingly more important than the work you need to do to achieve your dreams. But success requires a level of focus that cuts through the noise and a consistency that keeps you moving forward even when motivation fades. Focus is the ability to concentrate your energy on what truly matters. It's about narrowing your attention to the tasks, goals, and habits that align with your vision for the future. Without focus, even the best intentions are scattered and ineffective. You might start something with enthusiasm, but without the ability to focus, you won't follow through. You'll move from one thing to the next, always busy, but never truly making progress. Focus demands that you prioritize. It requires you to say no to distractions, no to time-wasting activities, and even no to opportunities that don't align with your ultimate purpose. But focus alone isn't enough. Consistency is what transforms effort into results. It's easy to work hard for a day, a week, or even a month. It's much harder to show up every single day, putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. Consistency isn't glamorous, and it doesn't always yield immediate results, but it's the key to long-term success. Each small step, repeated daily, compounds over time into something extraordinary. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Talent and ambition are important, but they're not enough without the discipline to consistently put in the work. Consistency builds momentum. It creates habits that make progress almost automatic. When you show up every day, whether it's for an hour of focused study, a workout, or working on your craft, you eliminate the mental battle of deciding whether or not to do it. It becomes part of who you are. Staying focused and consistent requires a deep understanding of your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the reason behind your goals? Without a compelling reason, it's easy to lose motivation and let distractions take over. When you're clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to stay committed. Your why gives you the strength to push through the hard days, the setbacks, and the monotony of doing the same thing over and over. Discipline plays a critical role in maintaining both focus and consistency. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about taking control of your choices. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you'd rather do anything but the work in front of you. Those are the moments when discipline steps in. Discipline keeps you on track when motivation isn't enough. Staying focused also means managing your environment. You can't expect to concentrate if you're constantly surrounded by distractions. Whether it's turning off notifications, setting boundaries with people, or creating a workspace that helps you concentrate, your environment plays a huge role in your ability to place a focus. The more you control your surroundings, the easier it becomes to direct your energy toward what matters most. One of the biggest challenges to consistency is the temptation to quit when progress feels slow. It's natural to want quick results, but real success takes time. The most important changes are often invisible at first. The hours you spend practicing, the early mornings, the late nights, they might not seem like they're making a difference, but they are. Progress often happens below the surface, and it's only with time and persistence that the results become visible. Another key aspect of consistency is setting realistic expectations. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Some days will be better than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep going. Even small, consistent actions can lead to massive change over time. It's the power of compounding. Each effort builds on the last, creating exponential growth. Staying focused and consistent also requires self-awareness. You need to recognize when you're slipping into bad habits or losing sight of your goals. It's not about beating yourself up when you fall short. It's about course correcting and getting back on track. Progress isn't a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs. The key is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps. Staying focused and consistent is about commitment. It's about deciding that your goals are non-negotiable and doing whatever it takes to achieve them. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The distractions and challenges will always be there, but so will the opportunity to rise above them. Every day you stay focused and consistent, you're one step closer to becoming the person you want to be and achieving the life you've always envisioned. Stepping outside your comfort zone is one of the most important decisions you can make in your journey toward growth and self-improvement. The comfort zone, as its name suggests, is where everything feels safe, familiar, and predictable. It's the space where you avoid risk, challenge, and uncertainty. While it may seem like a pleasant place to be, it's also a place where growth stagnates, progress halts, and dreams remain unrealized. To truly push yourself and become stronger, you must venture into the unknown, where discomfort becomes a catalyst for transformation. Growth and progress occur only when you challenge yourself. Imagine a muscle that's never stretched, worked, or strained. It remains weak and underdeveloped. The same principle applies to your potential. If you never push beyond what feels easy or comfortable, you'll never discover what you're truly capable of. It's the challenges, the struggles, and the discomforts that make you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your boundaries and unlock new levels of ability and confidence. Leaving the comfort zone is not about recklessness or leaping blindly into danger. It's about intentionally seeking challenges that force you to grow. It might mean taking on a task you've never done before, speaking in front of an audience despite your fear of public speaking, or pursuing a goal that feels daunting. These moments of discomfort are not signs of failure, they're signs that you're on the right track. Discomfort is a signal that you're stretching yourself and stepping into a space where growth can occur. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to leaving the comfort zone. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown can keep you trapped in a cycle of inaction. But fear is also a sign that you're doing something significant. It means you care about the outcome, and that's a good thing. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, use it as fuel. Face it head on and prove to yourself that you're stronger than you think. The more you confront your fears, the less power they have over you. Taking risk is another essential part of stepping outside your comfort zone. Risk doesn't always mean danger, it means uncertainty. When you take a risk, you open yourself up to the possibility of failure. But you also open yourself up to the possibility of success. Without risk, there's no reward. Every successful person you admire has taken risk to get where they are. They've embraced uncertainty, made mistakes, and learned from them. Taking calculated risks helps you build resilience, adapt to change, and develop the courage to face future challenges. Stepping outside your comfort zone also builds self-confidence. Confidence doesn't come from staying in a safe bubble where everything is predictable. It comes from facing challenges and proving to yourself that you can overcome them. Each time you step into the unknown and succeed or even fail, but learn, you gain a deeper belief in your own abilities. Confidence grows through action, and the more you push your limits, the more confident you become in handling whatever word us your way. Another important benefit of leaving your comfort zone is the new opportunities it brings. When you stick to what's familiar, you limit your experiences and potential. But when you step out, you open the door to possibilities you never even imagined. You meet new people, learn new skills, and discover new passions. Opportunities often lie on the other side of fear and discomfort, waiting for you to take that first step. It's important to remember that growth outside your comfort zone doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, and it's okay to take small steps. You don't need to transform your life in a single day. Start with something manageable but challenging. Take a class in something unfamiliar, try a new activity, or engage in a conversation that pushes you out of your usual social circle. These small acts build momentum, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges over time. Failure is a natural part of stepping outside your comfort zone. You're bound to stumble and make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone toward it. Each failure teaches you something valuable about yourself and your approach. It builds resilience and helps you develop the mindset needed to keep going. The key is not to avoid failure, but to embrace it as part of the process. Stepping outside your comfort zone also fosters creativity and innovation. When you stay in familiar territory, only on the same patterns and ideas. But when you venture into the unknown, you're forced to think differently, adapt, and come up with new solutions. This is where breakthroughs happen. Many of the greatest innovations and achievements in history came from individuals willing to leave their comfort zones and explore uncharted territory. Leaving the comfort zone is about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity and striving for greatness. Growth requires discomfort, and while it may feel uncomfortable in the moment, the rewards are immeasurable. Each time you step into the unknown, you discover strengths you didn't know you had, build skills you didn't know you needed, and achieve things you once thought were impossible. In the end, the comfort zone is a place of safety, but it's also a place of limits. To become stronger, more capable, and more fulfilled, you must be willing to leave it behind. Learning from failures and setbacks is one of the most powerful tools for growth and transformation. Failure, though often feared and avoided, is an inevitable part of life. It's something that every person experiences, no matter how successful or talented they may appear. But what separates those who rise above challenges from those who remain stuck is the ability to learn from failure, adapt, and keep moving forward. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a detour that can lead to something even better if you're willing to embrace it as a teacher. The first step in learning from failure is changing how you perceive it. Society often conditions us to view failure as something shameful, a sign that we're not good enough. This mindset can hold you back, keeping you trapped in fear and self-doubt. Instead of seeing failure as a negative outcome, shift your perspective to view it as feedback. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's a message, a lesson, and an opportunity to improve. Every failure carries valuable insights if you're open to recognizing them. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is self-awareness. When things don't go as planned, it forces you to reflect on your decisions, actions, and mindset. It compels you to ask hard questions. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? Where did I fall short? This process of self-reflection is essential for growth because it helps you understand your weaknesses and blind spots. It also highlights your strengths and what you did well so you can build on those in the future. Failure also teaches resilience. When you experience setbacks, it's natural to feel discouraged or frustrated. But every time you pick yourself up and try again, you build mental and emotional strength. Resilience is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use. The more you face challenges and overcome them, the more equipped you become to handle future difficulties. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back from it with greater determination and a deeper understanding of what it takes to succeed. Another powerful lesson from failure is humility. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers and that you're not perfect, and that's okay. Humility is not about putting yourself down. It's about recognizing that there's always room to grow and that you can learn from others, even from your mistakes. This mindset opens you up to seeking advice, listening to feedback, and being willing to adapt your approach. Humility is a strength, not a weakness, and it's a quality that leads to continuous improvement. Failure also encourages creativity and problem solving. When something doesn't work, it forces you to think outside the box and find a new approach. Some of the most innovative ideas and breakthroughs have come from people who failed repeatedly but refused to give up. They used their setbacks as opportunities to experiment, adapt, and discover new paths. Failure pushes you to become resourceful, think critically, and approach challenges with a fresh perspective. Learning from failure requires letting go of the fear of judgment. Often, people are more afraid of how others will perceive their failure than the failure self. They worry about being criticized, ridiculed, or looked down upon. But the truth is, most people are too focused on their own lives to dwell on your setbacks. And those who do judge you often lack the courage to take risks themselves. Embrace failure as a sign that you're taking action, trying new things, and stepping outside your comfort zone. The opinions of others should never hold you back from pursuing your dreams. To learn from failure effectively, you must also develop a growth mindset. This means believing that your abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. People with a growth mindset see failure as a stepping stone to success, not a dead end. They understand that every setback is an opportunity to improve, and they approach challenges with curiosity and optimism. By adopting this mindset, you can turn even the most difficult failures into valuable lessons. It's important to recognize that failure is often a necessary part of success. Many of the world's most accomplished individuals face significant setbacks before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. What these examples show is that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of the journey. Each failure brings you closer to your goals by teaching you what doesn't work and helping you refine your approach. Failure also builds character. It tests your patience, perseverance, and ability to stay committed to your goals even when things get tough. It teaches you to stay grounded, appreciate the process, and value the effort you put in. When you embrace failure as a natural part of growth, you become more resilient, resourceful, and determined. You develop the mental toughness to keep going, even when the odds are against you. The most important lesson failure teaches is that it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. Failure is not something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace as a necessary part of the journey toward becoming your best self. Embracing discipline as a daily practice is the cornerstone of achieving strength, resilience, and success in life. Discipline is not a trait you are born with or something reserved for the highly motivated. Instead, it is a skill, a habit that you cultivate through conscious effort and commitment. It is the bridge between your goals and your achievements, the mechanism through which dreams become reality. Without discipline, talent is squandered, opportunities are missed, and potential remains untapped. At its core, discipline is about consistency. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. This is where most people falter. They rely too heavily on fleeting feelings of motivation to drive their actions. Motivation, while powerful, is temporary. It ebbs and flows, influenced by circumstances and emotions. Discipline, on the other hand, is steadfast. It is the engine that keeps you moving forward, regardless of how you feel in the moment. When you cultivate discipline, you are training yourself to prioritize long-term gains over short-term comforts, and that is where true strength lies. The path to developing discipline begins with setting clear goals and creating a plan to please them. Without a roadmap, it's easy to get distracted or lose focus. Discipline thrives on structure and purpose. When you have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish, you can break it down into actionable steps and commit to taking those steps consistently. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but about showing up every day, putting in the effort, and making progress. no matter how small. One of the most challenging aspects of discipline is resisting instant gratification. We live in a world where convenience and quick fixes are readily available, making it all too easy to choose the path of least resistance. But strength and growth come from delaying gratification, from making sacrifices in the present to reap rewards in the future. Discipline requires you to say no to distractions, temptations, and habits that don't serve your goals. It's about having the self-control to stay focused on what truly matters, even when it's not the easiest or most enjoyable option. A crucial element of discipline is creating routines that support your goals. Routines provide a framework for your day and make it easier to stay consistent. When you build positive habits into your daily life, you reduce the mental effort required to make good choices. For example, if your goal is to improve your physical health, establishing a routine of exercising at the same time every day can make it a non-negotiable part of your schedule. Over time, these routines become second nature, freeing up mental energy for other challenges. Discipline also involves learning to manage your time effectively. Time is one of your most valuable resources, and how you use it determines the trajectory of your life. Discipline means prioritizing tasks that align with your goals and avoiding activities that waste time or derail your progress. It's about being intentional with your time, setting boundaries, and saying no to things that don't contribute to your growth. This level of focus and commitment requires self-awareness and the ability to make tough decisions, but it's essential for building strength and achieving success. One of the greatest misconceptions about discipline is that it's about being rigid or overly strict with yourself. In reality, discipline is about balance and flexibility. It's not about pushing yourself to the point of burnout or denying yourself joy. Instead, it's about finding harmony between work and rest, effort and recovery. Discipline allows you to maintain focus without neglecting your well-being. It's about knowing when to push harder and when to give yourself grace, recognizing that both are necessary for sustainable growth. Another vital aspect of discipline is accountability. When you hold yourself accountable for your actions and decisions, you take ownership of your progress. This means being honest with yourself about your efforts, recognizing where you can improve, and celebrating your successes along the way. Accountability can also come from external sources such as a mentor, coach, or supportive community. Sharing your goals with others and seeking feedback can provide additional motivation to stay disciplined and on track. Discipline is not without its challenges. There will be days when you feel unmotivated, when obstacles seem insurmountable, and when progress feels slow. But these are the moments that test and strengthen your discipline. It's easy to stay committed when everything is going smoothly, but true discipline is forged in adversity. When you push through difficult times and remain consistent despite setbacks, you build resilience and prove to yourself that you have what it takes to succeed. Embracing discipline as a daily practice is about creating a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. It's about taking control of your actions, making intentional choices, and refusing to let excuses hold you back. Discipline empowers you to overcome challenges, unlock your potential, and achieve the strength and success you desire. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Discipline is the foundation of growth and success. By staying consistent, resisting distractions, and committing to your goals daily, you build the strength to overcome challenges and achieve your dreams. It's not about perfection, but persistence, and every step forward brings you closer to the life you desire.